These guys gave us everything that we've asked for this spring, and I think they'll do that when we get started out in Oxnard.
It's every tiny little detail is almost elevated, and it's contagious, and you can feel it in the room. You can feel it across positions, and it just makes me excited to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I'll still be in Oxnard. I already got my house. It's already said and done, so I'll be in Oxnard, me, my kids, my family, so we'll be there.
I'm healthy. I'll be full go for camp. I'm healthy, yeah. Look, I think soon here I'll probably get an official sign off from Doc, but I'm healthy.
Feels like the first day of school. Joining me now is Aisha Morrison, who has her hand in a few podcasts with the Dallas Cowboys, so she follows the team closely. And we got to talk about the man we just heard from, Dak Prescott. Everyone is thriving right now because he said, we just heard him, he's healthy, he's going to be good to go for training camp. But when you hear that, I feel like, you know, as fans and people who are really into the team, you get excited, but he's not going to start out 100%. So what do you see him realistically looking like at training camp?
Well, interesting enough, I mean, we got to see him at OTAs, we got to see him at minicamp, very active, moving on the run, throwing the ball on the run. I understand, like, it is going to take him time to acclimate. All of these guys are. You don't really get into that shape, that football shape for real until, week 4, week 5. But I do think he is going to come out all cylinders and being able to fire the ball. We got to see that briefly, and so I do believe that Dak Prescott's going to be ready to go for training camp. I see him full go.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the season. He got some scrutiny a little bit for his mobility-wise, right? He's not the same Dak he was in the beginning of his career. When you looking at some of the other teams in the league, some of the younger QBs, you get a little jealous when you're seeing these QBs getting a lot of rushing yards, in their games. That's not who Dak is right now. So how important is it, do you see this O-line having to step up now to get this run game going?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, back to Dak's mobility and the lack of mobility that we've seen from him in the last couple of years. I really think his injury was a little understated, how serious that injury was in 2020. And for him to be able to rebound and come back and start, running the ball more would be beneficial for this offense. I don't expect for Dak Prescott to be a Lamar Jackson. I don't expect for him to be even a Josh Allen. What I do expect from him is to run the ball when he feels like it's necessary, maybe some utilization in the red zone, and I think that's something we'll see with new OC Clayton Adams as well coming in to kind of revamp this offense.
Now, Clayton Adams obviously is the O-line guy, so I know that is your bread and butter. So you've been really excited. Yes, claps, snaps, all of the above. I got to talk about Tyler Guyton though, because that is, I would say, one of the question marks, because that is not the strength of this team last year. He took accountability this offseason. He got some praise for that already, but obviously he starts on the field. I don't know if we got the video of it, and if you saw it earlier today, he had some, there it is. He had some training going in the rain. It's giving Rocky. I don't really know if this is, it hyped up people. I don't know if this hypes you up, but what do you have to see from Tyler Guyton this year?
Man, listen. Well, first of all, I want to definitely mention that offensive line is a ever-changing developmental position. And with Tyler Guyton coming in, he was a right tackle in college. I think a lot of people forget. Switching sides is not something that is just normal to do. However, we do see it a little bit more frequently in this NFL than we have in years past. With that being said, his hands are one of the biggest concerns, one of the more penalized offensive linemen in the NFL last year because of those paws. And so him working his hands, however he decides to do it, is cool with me. But what we're really looking for is for him to take a step forward in his discipline and also, too, just the confidence in the position. Dak is returning from a pretty serious injury, maybe one of the more serious ones he's had. That left side of that offensive line is something that needs to be unlocked. And to do some of the things that I know that Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, new offensive line coach, the left tackle is important. So I'm looking for him to take a step with confidence and consistency. And it sounds like what he is being asked to do is more on par with what he does well and what he has done well through his collegiate career and hereafter.
Well, this week, Danny Manyweather had a lot of O-linemen, some of the best from the collegiate level and NFL level at the Star in Frisco taking over, and he had a lot of praise for the Cowboys O-line.
This is the deepest and most talent-rich in terms of quality depth that I've seen the Cowboys have in a long time in the offensive line room, you know. In the last couple of years, you lose a Tyron Smith, you lose a Tyler Biadasz, you lose a Zach Martin, but you gain a Tyler Guyton, you got a more mature Tyler Smith, you got Cooper Beebe that's coming into his own, and then you draft the Tyler Booker, who, in my opinion, brings a lot of the same traits and characteristics as Tyler Smith. I expect those three interior guys to be about as physical as they come and really push the point.
You got to be excited. Look, dancing in the chair when you hear that from him, who's working closely with these guys, right?
Absolutely.
So
yeah, Duke Manyweather is a luxury to this team. And, you know, I heard you talk about the fact that he had his offensive lineman, you know, kind of camp that he does every year. And a lot of the offensive linemen in the NFL make their way to his camp, and they're able to develop and stuff. But Dallas having Duke down the street, luxury. Because one of the things is that one thing I think people don't realize is that there's been a lot of changes in the NFL as far as how much these guys can practice, the limitations and stuff. So they don't, offensive linemen really get the short end of the stick when it comes to practice time and being able to do the things that they technically need to do or will do in a game. So to have that work outside and to have him here is a luxury for the team. I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me was the talk about the interior offensive line. And when you look at this division, that's where a lot of the team's strength is. When you look at Philly, when you look at Washington, their strength is their interior offensive line or defensive line. So you're looking for guys that can move guys off the ball. Duke believes they're going to be able to do that and be very physical doing that, and that is something to look forward to moving forward, yeah.
What I'm looking forward to, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to, is this new wide receiver duo with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Man, when you look at those two, even just the little time we got to evaluate them, so much excitement. Dak Prescott actually had some very high praise for the 2, 1, and 2 targets this year as well.
That might be the best part about it. That's two guys that want the other guy to succeed just as much. That is literally the best part about those two men, is seeing it firsthand, just them two hanging out, and me, the bystander, I go in the house, you know, purposely for a little bit, you know, and just peeking at them. They love each other. They love each other's company. They love each other's game. They're just watch them on the field, them talking to each other, to them just being one-on-one, like I said, on the porch, they're going to push each other. And to be the guy that gets to get them the ball, it's exciting as hell, because you can turn on the OTA tapes and one of the guys, the ball's in the air, and the other one's got his hands up celebrating already. That we just got to continue to grow that and continue to, make sure that that's trending the right way.
We saw CeeDee Lamb out there fighing for his life last season, and I was like, get this man some help. That's all you could see when he was out there.
She was so concerned.
Oh, I was so concerned. I never remember when he got the ball and they had him trying to run a little bit. He was getting knocked back for negative yards. I said, we need help. We got help, Aisha. Yeah. What do you see when you see George Pickens on that field?
Man, I'm ecstatic. Number one, I'm ecstatic because when you talk about the Dallas run game, we've talked about that. A good passing game helps out your run game as well. And Dallas had some issues running the ball. And also, too, they're not being an opposite wide receiver that really threatened the defense, limited what CeeDee was able to do at points, but also, too, what the other guys across on the other side of the field were able to do. So George Pickens coming in here, Dak talked about his ability to have the concentration and to also come down with balls. Like the separation is something that stands out. He is a guy that other teams are going to have to plan for. And that's what you're looking for in the NFL as an offense. You want to be multiple, and you want people to be stressed about what you got going on out there. And this is a guy you're not going to be able to shade a safety to CeeDee all the time. You'll have to make some business decisions. And I think this gentleman can really make a difference. Make a difference in the red zone as well.
Yes, very excited to see what he's going to do. Now, very quickly before I let you go, I want to hear your thoughts on head coach Brian Schottenheimer, right? It's his first time as a head coach. So we heard about the culture. Everyone's buying in. But my thing is, what is he going to do if they go to Philly? And I don't want to put it out there, but what if they don't put up the type of performance in week 1? What if they get knocked down? What if they go and they start off the season 0-3? How does he overcome that?
Listen, so Brian Schottenheimer, and Bree, you can attest to this. I believe that he is won over pretty much everyone in that building, and to include the players. And I understand that's important, and we both understand that's important, but the biggest thing is going to be able to translate that to the field. And for me, I think that's the biggest challenge he has, is to build a level of rapport with this fan base. But I will say, for the fans that have some questions and maybe a little nervous about Brian Schottenheimer coming in, some of your favorite offensive coordinators, head coaches, they just needed a shot. And this is Brian Schottenheimer's shot.
Yes.
And it seems like he is taking it very seriously. So we look forward to seeing what he has coming this season, girl.
Everybody's on the Shotty train. Well, thank you so much for Aisha joining me tonight, talking Cowboys, just 1 week away from training camp.